everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Di's Shorts, and I'm going to have fun with the Layers of Beauty. Is that what it is? Yeah, Layers of Beauty bundle again, because I wanted to play around with some different colors, and I wanted to keep the video shorter than some of them for my Di's Shorts. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Oh, today's been kind of a crazy day. I've got my hair cut, I went to PT, my hearing aid died, so I have to luckily it happened before we left on vacation, so I have old ones in, so they don't work as well, so I'm like going, huh? But so hopefully they can get that figured out, but I doubt they will before we leave. So it's always one thing or another. But so we're gonna have fun today with this with the bundle. So I can't remember if I said if you've been here before, because like I said, today's been kind of a crazy day for me. So if you've been here before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. I should just start over, but hey, this is just me. Anybody can do what I do. Anybody can. So, all right, so let me get started. I will be watching the live premiere with you. So I'm in the chat room. So if you have any questions or anything during the live premiere, just head on over to the chat and I can answer you there. If you're watching the replay, just comment below and then YouTube will let me know and then I can reach out to you. All right, so let's get started. I do want to mention there is a new starter kit that's going to be in May. Now, I'm mentioning it now. It doesn't start till May 1st only because I'm going to be gone on May 1st. So I'm not for sure if I will have videos for next week or not. We're going to see how this weekend goes. So I hope to, but you know, I hate to get too stressed before we leave. So we'll see. But anyways, so I do want to mention that because it doesn't start till May 1st. But if you are wanting the new in colors, this is a great time to join because you're going to get them all for free. And I have a flyer to show you. I also, on my vlog over here, I also have information there as well. Okay, so close your eyes for a second while I get adjusted. Okay, so before we get going, this is the flyer that you can find on my blog over here, and this is the special that starts May the 1st through May 31st. So if you join my team, you can get the in colors, so you'll get the 4 2024 to 2026 in color products in addition to your starter kit. So it's like an $82 value, so it is a super time to join. You'll get the ink pads. You'll get the in color 6x6. I've showed you all of these things actually on my unboxing. The cardstock, and you will get the markers as well. So yeah, it's awesome. I am going to be using one of the new in colors today, and I'm going to be using the Petunia Pop. So it is a really fun purpley color. I love it. So anyway, so I would love to have you join my team. If you have any questions at all, let me know. If you're thinking of joining, then I would definitely you know, over the weekend just work on your starter kit list, what you want in your starter kit, because you get, you know, these choice plus $125 of stuff. Now you can't go over the $125, so keep that in mind. Try to get as close to that as you can. And that way, once you have that all figured out, it'll be so much easier to do the online join. It's so easy. All right, so let's get started. Now, I did this bundle before, and it's the layering. It's oh my gosh, the Layers of Beauty bundle. So it has the stamp set, you have a coordinating die, you have the mask. So that's what I'm going to play with again today. It is gorgeous, so much fun. But I wanted to play around with some different colors. So I'm going to use Crumb Cake as my card. That's what I'm going to be masking, doing the mask on. So I'm going to put a little seal right here. That just kind of holds my cardstock in place. And I like to put a little mark. So I'm just going to put a little mark here. I'm not going to touch the cardstock. This way, if you like to do like a whole bunch, you know, like you go, oh my gosh, I love that so much, I want to do a whole bunch. This will tell you like, oh, okay, this is where I put the cardstock to begin with. Now, the mask, I have used these before, so I do have like numbers on them, and I have some post-it tape on here just to keep it in place. So just like I mark my grid sheet for the cardstock. Now if you're just doing one, you don't have to, but it's just kind of nice to know where you're going to be. All right, and then this way I also am going to mark where this lays. So I like to come up a little bit. I try to center it because I want to have a little bit of room down here on the bottom that I can stamp a greeting or like lay a greeting. So anyways, okay, so I have been playing. You can already see I've got some colors going on here. So the first one is going to be Bubble Bath and Daffodil. So these are a couple of them the same colors that I had used before. Now Bubble Bath was a new color this year. All right, so I'm going to put Bubble Bath just in this area and here because I want these to be daisies. So I'm going to, now we're doing it on crumb cake. So before I did it on basic white. So we want this to be a little bit darker so that it will show, you know, on the crumb cake. So I'm just being real careful because I find if you go too crazy, you can bend your mask. So I'm trying to just not be so, and it's hard because it's so fun, right, to just go. So just kind of be gentle, especially like, see that little guy? He's easy to bend. So I'm just picking that up. And then we'll do this one down here. So I did put a little bit of ink on my Bubble Bath. So it looks dark. And then what happens is, as it dries, it will lighten up. Because right now, you know, I'm using the water base. So this is the classic ink. And they are a water base. So what it's doing is it's soaking into the cardstock. It's making the cardstock wet, basically. So it looks darker till it dries. All right. So let's do our daffodil. So same thing. When I'm doing the white, I'll brush off a little bit so it's not so dark. But when I do it on the crumb, I want to be able to see that yellow. So I'm kind of pouncing it in there. Okay. So let's see how that looks. So I'm just going to remove this one side. So if I need to do any more, I can plop it down there because it's still attached here. But that looks good. So see that? That looks really good. And then I'm going to go faster maybe than, you know, you would. If I was going to do a whole bunch, then this is why this could be more, you know, important too. Because maybe you just do the first one. You do the first one like 5 times. And that will give these time to dry. It will give that Bubble Bath time to soak in into the cardstock. So I'm just going to do this a little bit. But I'm going to go faster, and then you'll see like when it really, really dries, you know, how that color changes. All right, so that was number 1. Let me get number 2 now. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. Oh my gosh, Diana, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I also wanted to mark, so I'm just going to put this back here. This is easy enough. I'm going to put this back here. You also want to mark here. So I apologize, I didn't do that. So you also want to mark this. And this is just kind of a guide so that you put the mask. Now they won't be identical. I have found that they're not super, you know, line up, but you can see through. So I kind of do a little bit of both. I do a little bit of these guides, but then I also look through it as well. Okay, so again, number 1. All right, so now we'll do number 2. And so you've got that little notch. So bring that notch over. But you can see through. So see that? Like I can see where I need to lay this mask. So these help, but also seeing through helps too. Alright. So that looks pretty good. So see, it's not identical up here. I mean, it kind of is a little bit, but it's just a little different. Okay, so now I'm going to use the new Petunia Pop. Look how beautiful that is on that blending brush. So we're going to use Petunia Pop. And so I can't do tons and tons and hundreds because we could only get the ink pads. We couldn't get the refills for the pre-order. So if I use up all my ink and need to refill it like I did the bubble bath, I don't have a refill till May 1st. All right, so I'm going to get some Petunia. Now, I'm going to brush a little bit off because it's a new pad. It's really, really juicy. But I'm going to use Petunia Pop for 2 and 3. So I want the number 2, I don't want it to be as dark as the 3 because I want to be able to see the change. So I'm brushing that off a little bit, but you can see that it's getting a little darker when it's going over that bubble bath. Petunia, I think that's going to be my favorite of the new in colors. So I think that looks pretty good. This always gets a little yellow, but that's all right. Okay. All right. So let's do a little more yellow. So this is Daffodil again. And I just try not to touch the Petunia. You can also use the little finger daubers. The little sponge daubers are perfect for these smaller areas because you can really just be really, really precise. All right, so just like before, let's see how that looks before I take it all the way off. So see how cool? So there's that. That's number 2. Number 3. So again, use your little guides. And that looks pretty good. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right. So let me close my daffodil because we're done with daffodil. We're done with bubble bath. Now I want pecan. And I'm going to put a little pecan in my circles here. So I'm just trying to just get it a little bit. Just like the other day, I kind of just want it as a, just to hold that spot so that I can go back with my blend. All right. And now this time I'm going to do full Petunia Pop. And you can see how it's dark in there. So again, I'm just kind of pounce, pounce, pounce. I think somebody's stippling. Is that stippling how we used to paint on the wall through masks? All right, so let me see how that looks before I take it off. Come on, baby. So I can't wait till you can get this bundle. I think it's gonna go on back order because it's so beautiful. So look how cool that looks. I just love it on the Crumb because it looks so vintagey and kind of shabby chic looking. Because I might end up framing it because it's just so cool looking. All right. Now I didn't do the little remember last time I did a little mask on the background of it. So I didn't do that this time. All right, so the same thing with this one. I'm using these as a guide, but I'm also looking at this right here because it lines up with this. So can you see that right there? When I move this, it covers that. So then you know you've got it in the right place. Okay, so that's what I mean by, you know, this is really just a guide. It might not be like exactly perfect, and I think that's why we've changed our masks over to white so that you can see through them, so it's a lot easier to line them up. Now I'm going to use Granny Apple Green this time. When I did on the basic white, I did Lemon Lime, but Lemon Lime is a pretty bright color, pretty faint, and it was kind of hard to see it on the Crumb, so Granny Apple's a little bit darker, so I went with that instead. All right, so we have Granny Apple, and I'm just, you know, gently putting that on there. Kind of moving. And you can kind of rub the ink that you have on the mask. It kind of picks it up. So you can kind of reuse that so you're not wasting all of that ink. Let's see. And I like that they're not all the same green, because then it looks like, you know, the light's hitting it in a certain area more, because it's really dark up here and then it gets lighter as it goes down, so I'm going to make it be dark on both ends there. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Let's pick it up and just take a little look at it before we peel it off all the way. So see how cool that is? And you can see that those colors are lightening up as they're drying. Now they'll dry more and more as, you know, they sit in the air, because I keep covering it with the mask, so it's stopping the, you know, the air from getting on it. All right, so let's do the fifth one. And I didn't do any pecan on there on that one because I'm going to use my blends. So this is the same kind of thing. You just kind of move it, use that as a guide, but you can see right through where it needs to be. Okay, so the last color is going to be Old Olive. So I did keep Old Olive as one of the greens. Old Olive is just, it's just a great green. All right, and it looked really good with the Granny Apple. All right, so same thing. I'm going to start on the top and work my way down so that it's the same way. It's going to be darker up there, and then it will get lighter as it goes down. And then we'll do the same thing. I'm going to start at the bottom where it's darker, because I just inked it up, and work around so that it's got a little bit of random greenness. Now, let's see the magic. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lift it. So look how amazing that looks. So I can see where I want to add a little bit more Old Olive over here. There, that's better. And here. So that's why I have the tape on there, so that it's easy to lay that down. Because Granny Apple is darker than lemon. Plus we're doing it on the Crumb. So you have that Crumb cardstock color is coming through the ink as well. So that Crumb cake, it changes the tone of your inks with that being behind there. So I like that. That looks good. Alright, so let's take this off of there. Let me close my pad. Alright, now last week, I think it was last week we played around with these. I stamped the final, excuse me while I put these kind of away here, because I have all these very juicy Stampin' Blends just screaming to get on my hands. Alright, so last week I stamped the final, which is this right here. So this is the final. Now you could leave it like this, because you could tell that's some beautiful roses, right? But let's finish it by stamping the open line on it. Alright, so make sure I have this the right way. So it goes this direction. Okay. So last week I used Memento on the top of it after it was over. But I want to change it up. So I did one earlier with Pebble Pap, and I'll show you that one afterwards. But I want to do one with the white craft. So let's see how that does. So I inked this up so it's nice and juicy. Now it's going to be maybe a little harder to tell where the ink is with white compared to the black. So hopefully I can get it lined up pretty good. Alright, so I'm just going to stand up. I'm going to pay attention to the leaves on the edge, because I found that that makes it a little easier for me to line it up. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. Oh, so I was a tiny little bit off, but actually it looks kind of cool if I'm not like perfectly on. So let me hold that up so you can see it. Now the white craft has to dry a little bit. So see, I'm off a little bit right there. So I could have been a little more straighter, but you can still get the idea. So isn't that pretty cool? So I just need to play with it a little bit more with the white seen through. But I love how that turned out. And then I can take my little my pecan. So I'm going to do my light pecan. So I'm not quite lined up with that. So maybe I'm going to we'll just kind of put a little bit. I don't want to mess with it too much and ruin it, because it takes a little bit for the white craft to dry. So if you want, you can heat set it. And what I'll do is I will heat set it. So hold on a second. And what that will do also, it will also it will lighten these colors, because it will dry those ones if they're still kind of wet. Alright, so let me plug my heat gun in over here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I have my fan plugged in now. It's so hot in Arizona. Oh my gosh. So somebody said, for the people that want to move to Arizona, they said, just to warn, for the new people that moved to Arizona, Arizona is just preheating. And that's true, right? Like it's 90 some degrees. All right, so I'm just going to use my heat gun here. And this will dry that white craft, but like I said, it will also dry, you know, the bubble bath. So it will lighten those colors up so that they're accurate, so that they're the true color on the crumb. So it's just going to take a few seconds. So I just need to move. I just needed to move that over just a tad bit. But I kind of like that it's off a little bit, because it looks like you drew that white line. All right. Now, if you're going to emboss it, like if you were going to do embossing powder with the white, you would have to do that first, because, or you would have to wait till it's totally dry. If you wanted to emboss it after, you would have to make sure that these inks that you sponged, that you masked, are totally dry, or that embossing powder is going to stick to those. So if you do want to do that, either do it first, or even wait till the next day. Then you know for sure that it's good and dry. All right, but you can already see how that bubble bath is lightening up, right? It's not so dark. You know how it looked, you know, where it was wet on the paper. Let me just hit it a few more times. All right, so let me unplug this. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stamp on this because I'm not for sure. I really would like to do something with this, like maybe frame it. So I don't want to put a greeting on there. So I just love how that turned out. So let me show you these two that I did before. So this is the one I did before, just when I was playing around. So this is the one that I did with the white as well. And you could see where, see how this is really dry. So this one's still a little tiny bit wet in areas. I was a little more lined up on this one than I was here, probably because I didn't have an audience. But I love how this turned out. And I did stamp on this one with the pebbled path. So it's a little softer than the black. It's a little more of a brownish gray than basic gray. This one I did earlier as well. I just wanted to see how it looked. Instead of doing the white ink, I did the pebbled path ink. So so let me know what you think. If I really kind of like how the white turned out. Okay, so this one I let it dry. I heat set it so it was really dry, and then I embossed it with embossing powder. So I stamped it with the white, but you can see here in the leaves it was still a little bit wet, so that area picked up that embossing powder. So that's what I mean. You really want you want to let it dry. So if I'd have waited, if I hadn't have been so impatient and I waited till tomorrow or something, it would have been really good and dry. So so here, you know, here's the difference. So here it is just stamped with the white, and then, you know, just let it dry. And then this is with the white embossing powder. So I don't know. I kind of prefer this on the crumb. If this was on white, or if I die cut it out, you know, maybe I would like that better. Alligator. So so yeah, those are pretty. Hopefully that when the new catalog goes live, you'll grab this bundle. It's the Layers of Beauty bundle, and it's got the stamp set, the die, which I didn't use today, the die, and the mask. And I think it's going to be so popular that it might run out, right? Because usually, if anything's going to run out, like we'll run out of the die or something. We'll still have the stamp set for a while, but we'll run out of the die and need to get more in, so then that bundle won't be available. So that, if anything, I would grab that first off. If you are going to join my family, pop that into your a starter kit for sure if you like this. And then you'll have all those fun colors. Because I think pretty in pink and the petunia pop would look really, really good with this as well. And then we have those two new greens. So I haven't even opened those to see how they are. But let me know what you think. Again, this is the embossed one, and this is just the, stamped without embossing. They're both pretty. They're fun. I think what I want to do is, see, I'm like squirrel. All right, so hang on a minute. Let me show you. So let me show you this. All right, because I think what I do want to do with this, so I'm going to take my dark pebble path, and I'm going to flick a little pebble path on there. So see, it makes it even cuter with that little bit of flecking on there. So it just makes your crumb cake not be just so plain. Alright, so back to my face. So I'm going to have to do a lot of editing with this video. Or should I just let it go? I probably should just go, it is as it is, with all the little extras and whatever. Because that's just life, right? It's just me and my camera, and you on the other side of the camera. All right, so I'm going to stop blabbing for real. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I will have videos next week or not. Hopefully I will have some time to get some done this weekend. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye for now.